I'm just looking through a very old sort of reference book I have of old paintings, photographs, even my little paintings that I've painted as well. I've cut out little segments. It's just to get me inspired, not to necessarily copy, just to use those ideas to get me started. So I really recommend doing something like this. It's a fun way of working, you know, sort of collating all of your ideas and keeping them. Sometimes we don't get time to paint, but in this way, you can sort of almost paint in your imagination. So I'm actually squeezing out my paints now into the bottom of the little box that my core watercolors came in. So I'm using it as like a mixing tray. And I'm using just a ice cream tub here, something big enough for the brush here. It's a goat head brush. I got it from Amazon a couple of years ago, very inexpensive. But it's just nice to just swish on lots of water on this large sheet of paper. It's half imperial, so it's about 22 by 15 inches, thereabouts. But with the framing tape, not gum tape, so I'm not stretching the paper, I've just sort of gone around the edges so I get a nice white border. So don't confuse it with the gum tape, which looks very similar. So here I am, a lovely close-up here of me with my little palette here, using my plastic card, which is an ordinary store card cut up. I'm using orange, I'm using black, I'm using blues, I'm using Quinacridone gold. I will put a full list of all the materials I'm using in the description below. But as you can see here, all the puddles of water are sort of taking my paint and maneuvering it on, and you're getting all these kind of happy accidents, which I don't know, just go with them, you know, don't overwork them, don't fiddle. With watercolor, less is more. It really is. I can't stress it enough. So when you see something magical happening, don't disturb it too much, you know, let it do its thing. It's really important with this kind of technique. So let it go, almost let the paint do the talking. If you can resist not touching the paint too much. But look at that center bit there with the paint just shooting off into that great big puddle. Now, because it is a larger sheet, there is a little sort of warping that comes later, but I'm not going to let that bother me. It's absolutely fine. I'm just scooping down or swiping down some Phthalo turquoise here. I love that color, onto sort of semi-dry paper as well. And it creates some lovely textures. I'm just getting a little bit more black and blue, really, it's now becoming sort of buildings or an industrial sort of site with the river. So I wasn't sure where I was going with it. I was going to do a seashore and it's turned into this. So I love painting the river. I love buildings, just the magic of just creating them with this plastic card, putting the paint on. And some areas it's dry, some areas it's wet, and you're just printing and scraping with your card. And there goes the paint again up to that lovely well of water, just letting things happening. So I've got another flat brush here, just a cheapy flat brush I use for my acrylic paintings. Actually, it's synthetic. You can even use a household paintbrush, anything, any large brush. So I'm just sort of painting some clean water here just to smooth away the sky area, and I want to keep the light. That's the most important thing here, just letting things happen. It's so much fun to do. Look, I've just caught a little bit of phthalo turquoise there. This desk is a little bit lower, or the table there is a little bit lower than what I normally stand up, like almost like kitchen counter height. I've got something made especially for that. I'm using my Spritzer bottle now, as you can see, and just sort of softening. You can see just using that, doing that tilting has blended that sky away. That puddle is now gone. It was fun to do though. Now the paint has dried off a little, and I'm just using a plastic card now just to kind of paint buildings, you know, sort of construct them, you know, just by that sort of movement, you know, just sort of getting creamy paint and painting on, or just moving the paint that's on the surface. There's a close-up here so you can see what I'm doing. You're going to get random effects, you really are. And what I really love on the Facebook membership page is some of you have been sharing your abstract atmospheric paintings there. And I've been blown away actually, and I'm not just saying that, they are beautiful. It's wonderful to share this kind of technique with you and to see the work that's happening. And it's just amazing. So thank you for sharing them. And I really encourage those of you that may be a little bit timid about doing it, just go for it. Everyone's so supportive there. And there's some lovely work. Even if you don't share anything, just check it out. Maybe just give everything a thumbs up. That'd be great. But I'm just scraping away here, using my card, just manoeuvring that paint just to see what happens and creating reflections actually. So I'm just sort of using the residue, what's left over on the card there. But you could sometimes, and I've done it in the past, turn my painting upside down, because actually the bottom half actually looks better and the other half looks more like reflections, but you don't know that till it happens. But you can see here's my palette again. I'm just getting a bit of orange, a bit of blue, and I was going to use Quinacridone Rust, but I decided to go with the core, I think it's Pyrrole Orange, correct me if I'm wrong, I will put the correct thing in the description. But I'm just sort of printing marks now with the card to make them look like sort of office buildings, you know, maybe not industrial now, a little bit of industrial, a little bit of, you know, downtown. But it's so enjoyable to paint this, because I'm not quite sure where it's going to go. But as you can see here, I like to kind of get round the painting, and even sometimes I didn't do it here because the camera was in the way, but I would actually go round the side of it there and sort of paint upside down as well. Wouldn't think twice about it. I like to get all the way around just to see how it's looking, my painting. Sticking really to the phthalo blue, the black, and a touch of the, I think it's Pyrrole Orange, as I said earlier, just to keep these colours. And you can see little white patches, because that's where I didn't really wet the paper, and it kind of really adds to the light in the painting. Light's so important in the painting. I've got plenty of light in the water as I do in the sky, so I'm okay with light. I'm just printing some cranes now, just sort of using the dark that's in my palette. And I really find it's fun to do. London's a lot like that. I was born and brought up in London, and I go to visit there a lot. Well, not so much since we've had lockdowns and things like that, but certainly always up there, going to the theatres, meeting friends and family. And all you see is cranes and beautiful, all these amazing modern buildings, especially in the city. So I just thought I'm kind of channeling those here, and I'm tilting again. I've given my sky another little spray. Sometimes you'll get a background that might develop, but don't worry about those. Just have fun with it, you know, make it part of the process. So I'm spritzing again here. I've got some of the darks on the sort of water's edge. So you see there a close up there. I've spritzed it. That lovely turquoise is coming out really nicely there. But I could have used a bigger spritzer bottle actually, or you can just use something, make something up that you've used, you know, a cleaning spray bottle, because they're more powerful, or a plant spray, also quite good. These bottles are quite nice for my smaller paintings. I feel like I need something a little bit more powerful. But I tend to go right in and spray up close rather than a distance. When you spray from a distance, you want to kind of, it's a way to keep everything wet. This way it gets the paint moving. Sometimes I just assume everyone knows that. But I'm just letting everything run down, and you get some lovely textures with the black as well. And the black and the blue especially create some lovely, lovely atmosphere. So I'm just finishing off now, just that final sort of big tilt that I'm doing there, as you can see, and just letting that paint all run down so it looks like lovely reflections. And if you find it's a little too much, you can see I'm just lifting off here with a paper towel to finish off. So I really hope you enjoyed this step-by-step tutorial. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments section below. If you would like to learn more about my Patreon watercolour membership, please see the description below. But there you will get access to my weekly exclusive tutorials, extended tutorials, downloadable outline sketches, and a downloadable PDF with step-by-step progress photographs and instructions. More details about this can be found in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Happy painting. Bye for now.